Omani Pame.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to do the opening prayer. You can finish. We can wait till you finish this first. Lights. Oh, special treat. Okay, page 34. Oh, mothers and beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and enlightenment. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering, and save their way, establish them in the state of answer path, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. O mothers and beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and enlightenment. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering, and save their way, establish them in the state of answer path, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. O mothers and beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and enlightenment. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering, and save their way, establish them in the state of answer path, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. Page 35. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandala of Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dhakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandala of the Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dhakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandala of the Yadams. We take refuge in the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas and darkness and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embodied the enlightened mind and progress on the Bodhisattva's path, are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and apply myself to a complete stage of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embodied the enlightened mind and progress on the Bodhisattva's path, are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and apply myself to a complete stage of the path. Debate in that section. Sanjo Nying Bon Chi Je Par Sanje Nam Lai Jab Zhen Je Chu Dai San Ju Sen Ba Ye So Lai De Yin Jab Zhen Je Je Dar Ning Je De Ji Ji San Ju Dong Ne Ji Ba Dang San Ju Sen Be La Ba La De Da Ren Yen Ne Ba Dar De Yen Ro La Ben Dong De San Ju Sen Ne Ji Ji Yen De Yen De Ne La Ba Lo Rumba Yen De La Ba Je. In the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Page 37. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathagatas and the 10 directions. Those who have already reached Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagata still to come. Through the power of Samedabhada's prayer, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I posted to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great origin of their excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, anointing oils, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offerings to them of fine garments, perfume and portfolio, paired high as Mount Meru and arranged in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings, and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I posted to Buddhas and make offerings to them, following the deeds of the great Bodhisattva Samedabhada. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance, I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas and the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and the Pakika Buddhas, those who have attained Aharaship, those who have entered the path of Aharaship and all other beings. I recourse to all great protectors and the Buddhas to turn the highest will of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened state. I make recourse to those Buddha intending to pass into pre-nirvana, to live long for us many eons as they are atoms of the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. I call refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, widow adored. I bore at the feet of Father Jigten Songgo. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the elaborate nature of mind. Om Benzara Sadhu Samaya Mani Balaya Benzara Sadhu Dinoba Udon Jendo Me Bawa Sode Gayo Me Bawa Sube Gayo Me Bawa Anerado Me Bawa Sarva Siddhe Minja Yansa Sarva Karma Sisame Zidang Xue Yang Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Banga Wen Sarva Da Da Ga Da Ben Zara Ma Me Men Za Ben Zara Ba Mahasamaya Sadhu. Page 42, 43. Load the picture. Visualize Vajra Yogini. When you close eye, appear to your mind clearly. Your mind seeing very clearly. So we have to visualize that. Then page 43, visualize Buddha Amitabha. Now load the center channel, bottom the Buddha Amitabha's picture, the blue one, outside is blue, inside is red, top is open, bottom is closed. Visualize that. Now breathe in, breathe out, focus the breath. Breathe in from the nose, exhale is from the mouth. Breathe in from the nose. Exhale. Yeah. Letting leave the breath naturally from the mouth. The tongue is touched behind the teeth. Very softly open the mouth and breathe out in from the mouth. So now focus on your crown. Mind just resting on your crown. Letting go all the thoughts. Stay present moment. Recognize mind in the focus on your crown. Now focus on your forehead. Eyes. Focus on your nose. Ears. Out. Relax the whole face. Focus on your throat. Focus on your neck. Just the whole body relax. Focus on your shoulders. Mind resting with your body. Focus on your arms. Focus on your hands. Focus on your fingers. Focus on your heart center. Letting go all the past thoughts. Letting go all the future thoughts. Be present moment. Focus on your navel. Focus on your hips. Focus on your spine. Focus on your upper legs. Focus on your knees. Focus on your lower legs. Focus on your ankles. Focus on your feet. Focus on your toes. Focus on your whole body. Relax your body. Breathe naturally. Mind, breathe your body all be together, connecting together. Now visualize Vajra Yogini. If you cannot clearly visualize, open the eye, lock the picture, and close eye again. This is visualize the Buddha Amitabha. Visualize the center channel. You know, open the eye. Okay. So first I'm going to talk the sixth pardo today. So before our teaching sixth pardo, I want we read together this page 25. It's called Rule Verses of the Sixth Intermediate State. I bow down to conquerors the peaceful and wrathful deities. Page 25. Yeah, 25. Did I say wrong or? I said 25 or 26. Okay, 25. Alasa, nor as the intermediate state of living arise before me, renouncing laziness, for which there is no time in this life, I must enter the undistracted path of study, reflection, and meditation, taking perception, experience, and the nature of mind as the path. I must cultivate actualization of the three Buddha bodies, nor have obtained a precious human body. This one time, I did not have the luxury of remaining on a distracted path. Alas, nor as the intermediate state of dreams arise before me, renouncing the corpse-like, insensitive sleep of delusion. I must enter free from distracting, memorize the state of the abiding nature of reality, cultivating the experience of inner radiance, through the recognition, emanation, and transformation of dreams. I must not sleep like a beast, but cherish the experiential cultivation which mingles sleep with actual realization. Alas, nor as the intermediate state of meditative concentration arise before me, renouncing the mass of distractions and confessions. I must distractedly enter a state which is devoid of subjective apprehension and free from the two extremes, and attain stability in the stage of generation and perfection. At this moment, having renounced activity, having attained a singular concentration, I must not fall under the sway of wandering mental afflictions. Alas, nor as the intermediate state of the time of death arise before me, renouncing all attachments, yearning, and subjective apprehension in every respect. I must undistractedly enter the path on which the oral teachings are clearly understood, and eject my own awareness into the uncreated expanse of space, immediately upon aspiration from this compounded body of flesh and blood. I must know this body to be like an intransient illusion. Alas, nor as the intermediate state of reality arise before me, renouncing the mere sense of ever, terror or fear. I must recognize all that arises to be awareness, manifesting naturally of itself. No such songs, lights, and rest to be visionary phenomena of the intermediate state. At this moment, having reached this crucial point, I must not fear the example of peaceful and wrathful deities, which manifest naturally. Alas, nor as the intermediate state of rebirth arises before me, I must with one pointed intention concentrate my mind and resolutely connect with the residual potency of my virtues' past actions. I must obstruct the warm entrance and call to mind methods of reversal. This is the time when perseverance and purity of perception are imperative. I must give up all jealousy and meditate on my spiritual teacher with concert. From the mouth of the accomplished masters come these words: O you with your mind far away, thinking death will not come, entranced by the pointless activity of this life, if you were to return empty-handed now, would not your life's purpose have been utterly confessed? Recognize what it is that you truly need. It is a secret teaching for liberation. So should you not practice this divine secret teaching, beginning from this very moment? And it is also said, if I choose not to take the oral teachings of the spiritual teacher to heart, am I not the deceiver of myself? Okay, so that's the root text 6 Pardo. Now I'm going to share with you the commentary. It's page 2. So this commentary is not the words commentary. When I did this commentary, that time I didn't know the root text. You know, root texts are found like when Gachinobochi talked in here in George Mason University, right? A couple of years ago, he taught there this 6 Pardo. So that time only I know the root text is exist. But before this commentary is like long time ago. That time I have a translator. So I just heard it like Pardo, 6 Pardos, you know. I shared that in the teaching. So then we did transcriptures in Ohio. So that's in this here. So it's good, you know, like we read in the root text. Now we go to in this commentary, just not really commentary, like words commentary, but generally, you know, meanings or the what 6 Pardos is more clearly here. So I cannot share with you all the reading, everything, so I go to some part, share with you, read, and then some just skip, you know. If you have time, so you can read the whole thing. So maybe tomorrow or other days. Here is the 6 Pardos. So do you know what means 6 Pardos, right? We just read the root text. Do you understand what that means, 6 Pardo? There's a talk about 6, right? So which one is the first one? Just we read. Yeah, Pardo of called living. Pardo of living. Pardo of living is when the starting. So, okay, so when you're born or when your consciousness into the mother's womb, so either some say like that, your consciousness into your mother's womb, or some say you're born. So I think either is just okay. So then until death comes, so that between is called living Pardo. So we are living right now. Right now we are living. In the living Pardo has 3 sections. What is the 3 sections? Yeah, Pardo of dreaming, because we are living right now, but we know dead, we know dying, right? So we have dream, right? So that is the different experience. So you right now you are wake up, you are not dreaming, and you go to sleep in the dream. It's same or different? It's a different experience. So that's why that's the reason called different experience. That's why called dream Pardo. Pardo means intermediate state. So different sections. You have a dream, so you wake up, that between called dream Pardo, because you are dreaming, not you waking state. Okay? So then another Pardo is what Pardo? You remember? Yes, a meditation Pardo. When you meditate, your daily activity and meditation, same experience or different experience? Different experience. So that's the reason called meditation Pardo. Pardo of meditation. So now living Pardo has 3 sections. Just usually you wake up, just all the things. You are in the living Pardo. You know when you're born, until death comes between, you know you does all the worldly activities generally. It's called living Pardo. But in there, sometimes you have to go sleep. You have dreaming, so that is called dream pardo. And then sometimes you try to meditate, practicing, so that is called meditation pardo of meditation. So three sections, this three is actually living pardo. Why we make difference? Because it's a different experience. Make sense? Okay, so then here, of all those who are born, there's not one who will be able to avoid death. It's fact. Correct, right? So you cannot show anyone example, no one die. Who was born and no one die. You can show anyone example? Yes? Ahats. You heard that. That is called free from death. Free from death. It's different, So usually, generally, all sentient beings, no one free from death. Right? So that's called ahats. It's called into the absorption meditation. So they has a different experience. They are in the meditation. Yeah, they are living, but they're going to die. Their bodies become going to lost. Then they don't have to reborn again because no emotions to reborn again. No self, no emotion. They are liberated. So that's a good question. It's hard to, like some we say here is we cannot avoid death. Maybe looks like they are already avoid death. Do you understand what her question is? Like you can sometimes, not sometimes. There some place they can find some monks meditate alive 100 years. So that's I heard in Mongolian happening one. In Mongolian have found like that. Still, right? See, also in Himalayan area found like that body. And Thailand also has like that. Some dead long-term passed away, but its body is still alive. Looks like the hair and this nail. So that is called the ahats. It's into the absorption meditation. So that is a totally different experience. So if we go talk about that, is then lots have to talk, discussion, and also there's a lot of debating, disagree, like lots. So how to you can go become like that? Why it's become like that? There's lots of information. But anyway, they are is already free from death. They're liberated because they finish emotions, no more emotions. But they are not yet Buddhahood. So then that's the reason, the Mahayana practicing and the Hinayana practice, what the difference is. The Hinayana practicing without bodhicitta, without much compassion on others, you meditate vipassana, shamatha meditation, not vipassana, shamatha meditation, so strong. So then also you meditate selflessness of phenomena, selflessness of a person, not the selflessness of phenomena. Called selflessness of a person means like you recognize yourself is not exist. So you recognize you are not exist. You have that realized, then become no self. no self, no attachment, no desire, no emotions, but you don't have enough bodhicitta, cannot aim to the Buddhahood, but you are called ahara state. So then the state, they're like eons in that state. Then next Buddha come and wake up them, and then they realize they are not really final, like highest, like liberated. They recognize that. Then they don't have a emotion, cannot reborn again in samsara. No self, they don't have going to reborn again. So then they do the aspirations, aspiration. Through the aspiration, going to reborn, like usually human beings, all sentient beings reborn through the self and emotion. So arhats then do aspirations, they reborn to samsara again, and then they take into the bodhisattvas vows, take the bodhicitta, and then become practice bodhicitta and go into the Buddhahood. So that's the different topics. Let's go to the philosophy. Hard to explain, we have to study lots about that. So no sooner or later, once we are born, there is no certain that we will die. Sooner or later, the time of death will definitely arrive. So it is important to be prepared for it. We need to understand what to expect, and what we also need to know that we must prepare for it now. So now we are in the living pardo. What we have to do here, living pardo? We have to prepare for death. Living pardo is the most important state, because you can prepare for death. When death pardo comes, you already too late. Okay? Death pardo comes, then you no choice. If you wanted to do something, no time to do. So when living pardo is told about the living pardo, we recognize, what we have to do, what we can do. We understand that. So that's why we have to prepare for death. We also need to, if we hope to be able to practice at the time of death, as long as we have this precious human life, we have a great opportunity to prepare for this time of our death. If we really dedicate ourselves to Dharma practice now, and if we practice virtue and habituate ourselves to the Dharma practice now, then we will be able to employ those practice at the time of death as well. This brief explanation of the pardo is based on my familiarity with the teachings on the topic. So when I talk to this, share with the students, maybe 5 years ago, so that time, I share this because I don't have experience in pardo. I follow by the when I heard from my teachers, and I read some different, like books about pardo. So then I share for that. I don't have experience pardo. The reason is I did many times, but I forget. Do you remember? Do you remember your death in the pardo? No, right? So, do you remember when you are in the mother's womb? No, right? See, do you remember when you was born? No, yeah? Do you remember when you was childhood, everything? No, right? No possible. Do you remember everything is last year, what you did every day? See? So, we cannot remember. People say, no previous life, because we not remember. So that's logic, or that information, or what that is correct or not. Incorrect, right? Something happening, you cannot remember everything. So that's the reason, you know, we dead is countless, we already dead. We countless went to the Pardo, but we cannot remember because it's all gone, right? And we have ignorance. Even happening in this life, many things, what we don't remember everything, right? So that's the reason we cannot remember in the Pardo what happening. So usually talk about Pardo is when we die, and Pardo beings, that is a becoming Pardo, you know, when we death after, called becoming Pardo. So still, mostly beings live there 49 days. And 49 days, like first week, second week, third week, or is like the Pardo beings follow the previous life. You know, they go to all the previous life, what they did, you know, their homes, families, all relatives, and thinking about that, you know, all this follow that experience. So then when the 21 days after the shift to the experience is next life. So next life they're going to reborn, Pardo beings going to reborn, example, horse. So then that is become horse karmic imprints is strong. You forget all the human beings karmic imprints. Or some animals like horse is going to reborn human beings, he forget all the taste of grass. You know. So that's all his like horse experience is like become gone, and other like human beings experience perceptions are strong. So in the Pardo, you know, like after 21 days you already shift. So you gone all the previous experience. So you become more habituated. Your karmic imprints is a future life. So that's the reason we cannot remember. And we already transform our perceptions. And also, teachings talk about when you go into the mother's womb, and that's also called obscurations. Then all is become previous life. You know, what you have memorized is all is removed. So then when you're born, you cannot remember anything. Some people, you know, like who has strong karmic imprints. So when they're childhood, they remember some things more clearly than, you know, when become a either. So childhood time, there's some kids that remember a little bit, you know. Then they grow up, they're all gone too. So that's all follow the, you know, karmic imprint. So that's the reason we meditate, visualize these yidam deities. You know, we purify our impure karmic imprints. We create positive karmic imprints. Pure karmic imprints, you know. So that's the reason we have to visualize this yidam deity and practice. So here, anyway, so the Pardo intermediate, the Pardo, the word Pardo literally means intermediate state. So that's the Pardo meaning, is intermediate state. That is the time between. So now we are living Pardo. When we born, until death comes, there is time between. And then in there you have meditation Pardo. You go into the meditate and become post meditation. The between is also time between. You when go to sleep and go in dream, wake up, there also time between. So that's the reason the Pardo means like intermediate state. So it is the period, lasting from when something begins until it comes to an end, and something else comes into being. There are essentially 6 pardo that are important for practice, and so are discussed in the text. There's a natural pardo of birth, the pardo of dreaming, which is the delusion of sleep, the pardo of meditative concentration, the pardo of death, and the pardo of innate nature, and the pardo of becoming. So here talk about pardo of birth. First one is same as the living pardo. Then pardo of dreaming, which is the delusion of sleeping. The pardo of meditative concentration, so that is also different experience, not delusion. The pardo of death is become like 100% sure going to die. So then it's still mind and the body is still together. So that's called also pardo of death. Pardo of death, and the pardo of innate nature. The pardo of innate nature is you died after your conscious and your body is become separate. Then you lose consciousness, so you wake up again. So that time is like your core, like usually say chinyik pardo means here is the pardo of pardo of what is the here says meditation pardo of innate nature. Innate nature means arise your nature. When you lose your consciousness, wake up, arise your nature. So that is called nature pardo. Chinyik pardo, Tibetan called. Chinyik means like nature of your mind. If you recognize that, you are liberated the right way. You don't recognize that, then going into becoming pardo. So that's 6 pardos is here. So now what we have to talk here important is first living pardo. We have to talk about that. Living pardo. So what we have to do, living pardo, we have to practicing dharma. If we don't practicing dharma, then when death comes, we cannot do anything, cannot change anything, Even you want to be free from suffering, it's not possible. So right now we are in living pardo. We understand that, so we have to cultivate precious human body, and then we also cultivate impermanent meditation. So then we have to cultivate karma cause and effect. We have to cultivate defect of samsara. So this 4 thoughts meditation, we have to practice that. So then that practice 4 thoughts meditation practice, you are naturally going into the dharma. Then your dharma is become practices like going to right path and the right direction. Without this 4 thoughts practice, your dharma activity is usually not successful, because you always come up something worldly activities. So you always think, your worldly activities first priority. The dharma is just always thinking about, like maybe, today is raining, I'm not going to go to Dharma center. Maybe next week it's okay, I can go there. So today I'm going with my family or something, right? today I'm going to shopping, like today I'm going to do something others. So you all the first pick up all other things. The Dharma is always part of last. So not first priority, right? Make sense? Do you understand first priority, right? Is correct? Yeah, priority. So what the reason is because we have a laziness and we have not enough effort for Dharma practice. So what happening? Why the reason that happening? Because it's ignorance and obscurations, and we don't meditate for thoughts. If you have enough practice for thoughts, then your first priority is always a Dharma. So not the other things. Other things has become like then not much important for you. So that's the reason, you know, your mind follow the Dharma. Means like if you have practiced for thoughts, your mind naturally follow the Dharma. If you don't have enough practice for thoughts, mind is not possible to follow the Dharma. Your mind is follow the worldly activities. So that's why it's four thoughts is called Tibetan, like generally it's called Nindo. Nindo means like preliminary practice. The Nindo has three different levels. And the basic ground, right? Basic and ground. Nindo is preliminary practice is four thoughts meditation. And also called common preliminary practice is a four thoughts meditation. Four thoughts meditations all the come from Buddha to all the way like whole Buddhist. And all three yanas are based on the four thoughts meditation. That's why called common meditation. Then uncommon preliminary practice is Vajrayana tradition. Tibetan Buddhism talk about 100,000 post-stations, 100,000 post-stations, 100,000 offering mandala, 100,000 the Vajrasattva practice, 100,000 Guru Yoga, 100,000 refuge, like all together is 500,000 to pray practice. So that is called uncommon preliminary practice. Then special preliminary practice is special. So special preliminary practice is meditate, love, and compassion, bodhicitta. This three is called special preliminary practice. When you're going to practice Mahamudra, especially 5 parts of Mahamudra, then you have to go first, special preliminary practice. First, we have to meditate, practice love and compassion, bodhicitta. So you finish that section, then you're going to practice, like mean practice is practice Yedam Deity, practice Mahamudra. So then also after the last part is called dedication. So that's where all the different part, all is based on the four thoughts meditation. Without the four thoughts meditation, other like uncommon preliminary practice also not successful. If you're going to do 100,000 post-stations without the four thoughts meditation, you not possible finish 100,000 post-stations. Without four thoughts meditation, not possible you going to finish 100,000 mandala offering. You know, uncommon preliminary practice also based on four thoughts meditation. Then special preliminary practice, love, compassion, bodhicitta, also based on the four thoughts meditation. So that's the reason four thoughts is all the time, always, you know, Dharma teachings practicing Yadam deities, practice anything, they always come first. Even we're going to do empowerment, initiation, always have to share first, require is 4 thoughts meditation. But 4 thoughts meditation, many people think very easy and simple, but not like that. Not easy, not simple. It's very hard. We don't always recognize we have precious human body. We always don't recognize who we are, what we're doing, Always our mind and the body is not together, always separate. Mind always go with all the object. Look to the object. Body is always separate. So we didn't cultivate and even precious human body. Then also we don't think about any impermanent meditation because we don't think about how many years gone, how many years we're going to live. So we don't think about impermanent much. Actually, impermanent is every day, our daily, activity, our daily, all the time impermanent, everything changing. So then impermanent, after everything is changing, is then next life where we're going, what is happening, everything's changed, we don't have a control. We always want something, we expect something, sometimes it never happens that, You never expect anything, you never think about that kind of things always come again and again. Right? So no one can manage features because it's always follow the karma, cause and effect. So then karma have 2 karmas. Actually we talk about 2 karmas, positive karma and negative karma. Positive karma take to the happiness, negative karma take to the suffering. Negative karma result is suffering, positive karma result is happiness. So that is a natural law of phenomenon. No one created, right? So that's all we have to think about and practicing 4 thoughts often. And even you're going to meditate, you have to cultivate 4 thoughts, then go into meditate. You're going to practice Yadam deity, you have to cultivate 4 thoughts and go into the practice Yadam deity. You have to cultivate, if you're going to meditate Mahamudra, then of course you have to cultivate 4 thoughts first, then going into the Mahamudra practices. So that's all. If you have 4 thoughts of meditation, then in this living pardo, you can all your effort to put energy is you can put all dharma, Then become your life is all living pardo time. Your drawing things, everything is for preparating or prepare for death. If we don't have enough cultivate, practice 4 thoughts, then we don't preparing for death. Okay? So that's the reason 4 thoughts is the most important. And so living pardo, we have to prepare for death. So prepare for death is then I just talked about common, preliminary, we have to that practice. We have to practice uncommon, preliminary practice. We have to practice the special preliminary practice. Then we have to practice the Yadam deity, Mahamudra meditations. So just all is practice the Dharma, So that is the most important when we are in living pardo. So then living pardo has pardo of dreaming. What do we have to do? Pardo of dreaming. Pardo of dreaming, we have to recognize that. Usually we don't recognize pardo of dreaming. So that's sometimes called dream yoga. Dream yoga, six pardo, six yoga of Naropa called dream pardo. So you have to recognize the dream. Not you, we have to recognize the dream. but not easy to recognize the dream pardo. Because when we go sleep and then dream comes, always like kind of a real, right? Real for us. Dream is the not. Dreams we know recognize delusion. Dream is kind of a rare, rare for us, right? Rare is truth for us. So we are then in the dream. We also create karma too. The less karma, but create karma. Like at least we create like karmic imprints. The karmic imprint is like very strong. The dream also come from karmic imprints. So otherwise, never come to dream for you, like never happening something before, or future coming in something. Dream is always follow the previous karmic imprints or future, something karmic imprints. And some is called like just delusion. Is called some spirits distracting your mind. It's called obscurations. So that kind of actually dream is talk about three sections. Dream shares three different sections. When you go for sleep, and your dream is all go to previous karmic imprints. Then in the night time, like kind of a 2 o'clock to maybe 4 between, kind of a 4 between, mind is like deluded spirits, or like we call the obstacles. Obstacle like just like something like not really 100% real, but your mind is distracting. Not follow the previous, not follow the future, but it's your mind is distracting. Distractive. Emotion, emotion distracting. Okay. So then 4 to maybe you wake up 5, 6 or something, that between dream is called follow the future karmic imprints. Make sense? So then usually most regular beings not recognize the dream. When we have a dream, we not recognize, right? We don't recognize we have a dream, so we are suffering in the dream. If you are really hungry in the dream, you have same as wake up time hungry, same suffering, right? Same thing, if I have some desire or wanting something in the dream, same as the daytime suffering, All expectation is the same as in the daytime. So that's create karmic imprints. Less karma, but karmic imprints. Then in the dream you have emotions. In the dream you have anger. In the dream you have all these 5 senses. So practitioners, what that does, dream, when they go to sleep, they recognize a dream or transform the dream to positive karmic imprints. So that's the reason, when we're going to fall asleep, and there are also some instructions, you have to go like right side, and the Buddha, pass away, right? So like that way you sleep. And also when you're going to sleep, fall asleep, that time you have to chant mantra, and especially Om, Ah, Hom, reciting, and mind focus for that, and also cultivate impermanent. So then you're going into the sleep. That helps for in the dream also sometimes you can chant the mantra. and you can create, become positive karmic imprints. And also you sleep like same as the Buddha passed away. So like that posture, then less nightmares, and then not bad dreams, you know, like nightmare, right? Bad dreams, and also in the dream less suffering and less emotions in the dream. So that's the also like our body has like channels something, you know, I don't know the details. They talk about the channels, like this side has a more emotion part, you know. No, this side, somewhere, you know, like that's why you, in the subduing emotions, this all has some like more wisdom channels. So that is become up, you know, wisdom channels, and down the emotion channels subduing. So that's the reason you have to sleep like that way, yeah? Left side is like you can have like more bad dreamings, like, you know, you have the right side like this way. Yeah, it's right side. Right side is have to put on the floor, like, or the bed, you know. Yes. That is the wrong posture, wrong way. What happens is it's kind of like your wisdom is like blocked, and your compassion channel, wisdom channel, positive channel is blocked. You know, you open all the emotion channels. Yes. So that's the thing, is usually wake up is better, you know, other person is less suffering, right? Some people also nighttime like gets blocked to some channels or something, their feeling is somebody push, you know, right? Press, right? Then you cannot move, you cannot talk, and the big problems, the difficulties, suffering. But that also, like, when you sleep left side or sleep like this way, so then you have that problem. So you sleep like this way, and never happen that too. Okay, so no, the also the practitioners not only the daytime, you know, create positive karma, even the night time, you know, this dream section also try to take to the virtuous. And so some is when comes a dream, they recognize I am dream in the dream. So then they say record their practicing, and they, you know, visualize their own guru in the dream. So that's called dream yoga. Dream yoga means you can practice dharma in the dream. If you can't do that, then you are in the bardo, is no problem. Then become you are the how to call the you mean the in the dream, then someone can meditate in the dream. So this is called dream yoga. So the dream yoga, and it's not easy for everyone. So only practitioners does that practicing. What we have to do, beginners, because we have to, when we go to sleep, change our posture. So right posture, and when you go into sleep, you chant mantra, and or visualize your guru, and cultivate impermanence, go to sleep. You know, then you chant the mantra. The mantra also, like in the dream, sometimes you can see the chanting in the mantra. So become your mind is more awareness. It's less delusion, less delusion. Yeah. So then you have very good meditate in the daytime. So then that's also practitioners. Then this you can use in the dream. You know, become dream is transformed to the called dream yoga. It's meditation. So then you all dream is transformed to the positive practice. So who can recognize that, who has that practice, is become called yogis. So if you are yogis, you have this experience. Yogis and yoginis, you know. So we don't have that experience right now. So kind of how can come, like you cannot like mind, like think about something, right? So that is become their practitioners, their own experience. Okay, so that's called dream yoga, dream, you know, dream pardo. But we are, for regular people called dream pardo, but practitioners called dream yoga. Okay, so then we have a meditation sections called pardo of meditative, right? Pardo of meditation, pardo of concentration. Yes, yeah, pardo of meditative concentration. I'm repeating like yogi lines. So no, pardo of meditative concentration is a different experience. When we meditate, like you release all regularly all daily activities, right? When you meditate, so meditation also today, right now, this also you can call meditation because you are not doing all daily activities. You listening Dharma teaching, you cultivate, you know, thinking about that. That is also called intellectual meditation, analyze meditation, analyze. And meditation has two different sections, you know that. And resting mind meditation, cultivate, analyze meditation, you know. So today you listening Dharma teaching is also called meditation too. When you read the Dharma teaching, the Dharma books, that's also called meditation. Good for who has monkey mind. So who has lots of thoughts going on, then you cannot meditate, resting, meditate. So you resting, you have more thoughts. You know, you try to meditate, more thoughts comes. Yeah? So that kind of person then good for this intellectual meditation. You know, cultivate or listening meditation. Then cultivate intellectual meditation. For thoughts meditation also cultivate intellectual meditation. They are not resting meditation, right? So we have to cultivate precious human body. We have to think about, like, precious human body means one word, but how to get that? How many kind of have to come together, like become called the precious human body, right? You have to cultivate that. We think about hungry ghost. We think about all the heaven beings. We think about all the animals. We think about all the human beings. These 6 realms. You have to cultivate that, you know, analyze. Then you slowly look to yourself. Oh, I'm free from that state. So now I have precious human body. Then comes joy, happiness from your heart. So cultivate 4 thoughts. First one, precious human body give you courage, give you effort, give you joy and happiness. But many people don't understand that. you know. That's give you like really permanent joy and happiness come from cultivate precious human body. Then you practice like impermanent meditation, cultivate impermanent meditation. Then you can transform all this emotion, suffering is naturally released easily. Become you are not much attached to your, you know, like object. Object means like your family and home and relatives and this, but you care about them, you know, but not really mind is too much only that. So become your heart is open. Your wisdom is more become arise. Cultivate, meditate, impermanent. So then go to like the karma cause and effect of your daily life, you know, like daily effect, everything is you create a positivity, you know, take to the daily life, daily activities, take to the Dharma practice. So that's all these four thoughts, meditation give you courage and effort and joy and happiness, less suffering. But usually people don't think that, they don't recognize that way. So no, meditation is, that all is meditate, you know, meditation state. Then you meditate love, that's also cultivate meditation. You can meditate compassion, that's also cultivate meditation, you know, analyze, like you have to think about your parents, and then move to that love to other beings, slowly, you know, recognize all beings used to my parents, right? So my friends, so then you comes like your heart like arise like everyone is kind of the same, you know, all is like parents. So that's also cultivate meditation. Then bodhicitta, our meditation also cultivate analytical meditation. We have to think about all these mother sentient beings wanted to take to Buddhahood. That's the reason I wanted to effort, I wanted to do this practice. So that's bodhicitta also analytical, you know, meditation. Then usually we go into the emptiness meditation. So first if you don't do cultivate meditation, go into the emptiness. Then you maybe could be in the empty, but you don't know what is that, you know, what's going on yourself. You don't really realize, you don't know. So that's the reason we have to use or cultivate an intellectual meditation. So investigation, or the object is realized, is everything is not independently permanent. Understanding everything is interdependent, everything is impermanent, everything is emptiness. So you realize that first, then go into the emptiness resting meditation. So that's a meditation. State is also different experience. So now we are in the meditation part of meditation. Okay? So then next is called, where is it there? So we go to the page 7 has the part of meditative concentration. So once the part of death, so when the part of life ends, so the page 7 is end of the page 7. That says when the part of life ends, the part of death begins. So that is called death pardo. It's fourth one, number 4. Death pardo is start to manifest after the outer breath has ceased, the inner breath also ceases. Once the part of death begins, the process of dying can't be halted or reversed. Doctors and others who are familiar with the science know that here is nothing more that can be done, no matter what prayer or rituals are done. So usually, you know, the Tibetan traditions, or also like mostly Buddhist tradition, who has a religion, maybe religion tradition, they're also not only going to see the medical doctors, right? They also does prayers too. So I don't know. I heard something, but people say I heard the information. Someone says, like scientists, the research, same patient, same situation. Then another patient has lots families, relatives, they all other, like does for prayers, aspirations for another patient. Another patient is no one does anything. So they're treated the same hospital, same medicine, scientists research. So other one is become naturally easily recovered. Who has people does prayers. Who don't have that take longer. And otherwise medicines, everything is effectively, easily, more powerful. So that scientists, they say approving that means your aspiration, your prayer really can effect to that person. So I heard that, but I don't know it's really fact or not. So, but anyway, in Tibetan tradition, so people not only go to hospital, right? They does like this, all the ritual things, many prayers, long life, something that does lots of things. So some people in the hospital, they cannot have anything, cannot recover, but we does lots of some ritual things, prayers, like they become, the person is come back to recover again. So they all has like kind of different, different, how to say, the different conditions or different karma or different like levels, different. So some can help for prayers, can help, some not really. Some medicine can more effective for them. Sometimes prayer can more effective to them. It's always dependent, yeah. Not always the same. So we cannot say always prayer can help for them. We cannot say always medicine can help for them. Everything is interdependent. So it's always called interdependent aspirations come. That's the reason here says, with science, know that there's nothing more than can be done, no matter what prayer or rituals are done. Nothing will be able to reverse the process of death. No matter what medicine is taken, none of them can hold over the process of death. So that is called the bardo of death. So when bardo of death comes, then we cannot use anything like what we worldly activities. When you born, until die, the between you create all the worldly activities. Even you own the $1 million, millions, like whole, like many lands, house. You have thousands relatives. You have high possessions. It's nothing going to have anything. It's become useless. So that is called bardo of death. Death comes. That's all. It's become useless. Then that time, only the, which one we can have is like page 8, end of the page 8. At the moment of death, a good practitioner will be able to record the Pitta instructions, turning away from attachment to this life. So you have own the lots, everything, many, you have relatives, all this kind of, usually you are, attached to them. But when you die, then that time you have to release that. Not, attached to them, So that's why here is the core, record the Pitta instructions, means right now you receive the Phowa teaching today, we practice Phowa, right? So that time you recall, visualize Buddha Amitabha. Visualize your body is Yidam deity. recall Pitta instructions, that time you realize, everything is impermanent, not attached to your object, right? So everything is letting go. So that's always become Pitta instruction. Pitta instruction meaning is like that time, your problem, what you have problem, difficulties, like help for that directly, is called Pitta instruction. So no, sometimes we say like Mahamudra is Pitta instruction, but sometimes it doesn't help for someone, that time is like not for that person, that is Pitta instruction, Pitta instruction meaning is that when you have something difficulties, so directly help something, So that is called Pitta instruction. When we happen like these problems, then we call Pitta instruction meaning is you have to, if you are strongly attached to like your family or your home or like something, so you recall, like cultivate impermanent. So that has become Pitta instruction. So then meditate Buddha Amitabha and turning away from attachment to this life. The practitioner's mind will turn towards the three jivas. So then the cultivate or minds go into the like visualize Buddhas. Some may be able to practice Phowa. See, some people can practice Phowa in their time. When you die, death part comes, you can use Phowa yourself. So mostly is people cannot. Most people don't know Phowa. You know what means Phowa, right? They don't know. People who know the Phowa, so we practice the Phowa, we know the Phowa. When this death comes, we cannot, not everyone, but most people cannot practice. The reason is because of death is strong suffering, right? So then, that time what we have to do, we have to focus on your crown. Mind just focus on your crown, and think about Buddha Amitabha is in your crown. So then, when we mind is live from our body, is live from the crown. If your mind is usually, like we have a karmic imprints. Mind is usually like when we death comes, like it's come to the like lower body part, focus that because of karmic imprint attachment. So that's take you to the lower realms. That's why we focus on our own crown, and then mind is live from our crown. So that means your Phowa is successful. Naturally you transform, your consciousness is pure light. Yes. Yeah, think so. So, you mean like who practice Phowa? If we Phowa, transform your mind when we die, that time, and the mind is transformed to the pure lane, then your karma cannot affect you. The reason is because you don't have a conviction. Yes. Could be. So that's why we have to practice like Phowa. Otherwise, like karma effect, block to your consciousness transform. You practice Phowa, then you have like more. Become your Phowa practitioner that cannot affect. volcano effect, yeah. So that's the reason yesterday we talked about people who does strong non-virtuous deeds, still they can be transformed, consciousness to pure lane, right? So I talked yesterday that. So that's the reason here. So we have to practice Phowa, which is extremely benefit at the moment of death. The kindest thing you can do for yourself is to prepare for this crucial moment by receiving the Pitta instruction and rely, practicing them so that in this life you become familiar with Phowa. You cannot do anything kindness like good thing for yourself, any other thing, practice Dharma, right? So your other things like what you did, everything is useless. Only your company, so like which one can help you is only practice Dharma can help you. So that's the reason, as a kindness thing you can do for yourself is to prepare for this crucial moment by receiving Pitta instruction and relying, really practice them so that in this life you become familiar with Phowa. We have to prepare for this moment by contemplating the fact that when the moment death comes, nothing at all that we have accomplished in our worldly sense will be of any benefit to us. Only our virtue, the virtuous karma that we have created and our ability to apply the Pitta instructions and engage in Dharma practice will be of any use to us. At the moment of death is also very important to completely let go of this life that has just come to an end. Let go of any attachments and do not fixate at all on any aspect of the physical reality that you are living behind. The Buddhist teaching make it very clear that you must turn away from the worldly phenomena of this life and put your mind single-pointedly on your spiritual teacher and the three jivas. That is the time when it is essential to engage in a practice. It is particularly the time to really own your practice of Phowa and really do it if you yourself are not familiar with Phowa but can make a connection to a Lama or another accomplished practitioner. At that moment when your authority comes to a heart, then they can practice Phowa for you and transform your consciousness to the pure realm. It's very clear, yeah? So Phowa, like here says, like Lama, can do Phowa for someone. Actually, if you have practiced Phowa, you are also Lama. Lama means here is like who has practiced Phowa, that is called Lama. Okay? Not only the monks, like the reality, like who has practiced Phowa, then that does Phowa for someone, help for them. Yes? It's called consciousness, mind is the same thing. Usually we talk about consciousness and the mind, but natural mind means you not any deluded object. So log into the reality, that's called natural mind. Then that is become deluded object, so that's called mind and consciousness. It's actually the same. So water is become like ice. Then it's called ice. No one called water, right? The water has become ice has become merged to the water. Then it's called water. So like that, mind nature and consciousness, same thing like that. Mind nature is the same as water. Buddha nature is the same as water. Consciousness, mind, That is the same as the eyes. Make sense? Okay. Uh, hmm. So, so you mean people who die in that time like eat the painkiller and for death, right? So how can you mean can use the Phowa, right? Yeah. So if you this is a dependent, you know, some people don't accept that, right? Some people have to accept that to like do. Some people don't eat that medicine. Some people eat. But I don't know the exactly. You know, we don't have any experience individually. I cannot give you answer like, you know, all individual has different experience. They're always different, you know, not always same happening. Even they take the painkillers, but still the person who died, the person is like maybe different experience. So this is for general teaching. I think it's like people who are going to take the painkiller, if that person has Phowa practice before, so then he said, I'm going to, you know, if he have Phowa practice, then he remember that, you know, Phowa. So then he take painkiller, but he just went before, you know, like focus all this Phowa meditation and focus Amitabha and take painkiller, then he die. Maybe just no difference, like when you not take the painkiller or take the painkillers, you know. Anyway, you have a visualize, you know. You already has all the focus on your Chrome, you know this all the, you know, pit instructions. So that help for that person, right? So I really don't know the exactly how to effectively, detailedly, you know. But generally, I think like that. Okay. Thank you. Who has question? Oh, yes. 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 Right. Visualize, if you can visualize Buddha Amitabha, only that, and the mind just focus that, or you just focus on your Chrome. That's it. That is the most simple one, yeah. I know, that's a really good question, you know, like really busy, you know. When we die, mind is very busy. Yes. Yes.
I'd like to say that it's important to do Phowa now, all the time. And we are paved the road to Japan. And we become familiar with that habitually. So that if we become unconscious, we still have that pathway that has already been established through many practice sessions. So it's very natural. So if we're alone when we have, then we can rely on them. On the other hand, if we have friends, spiritual friends who are with us when we die, then they can be deciding they can be doing the code and help us, you know, to remind us, even when we can't hear, because the medicine can help us. But the important thing is to do it in practice and not waiting until the last minute. So we're going to die and everything is very chaotic.
Okay, so now we go to the page 10 here. So page 10, the area talk about, when we die, it's like all these 5 elements is dissolved to 5 elements, bodies. So the main point is here is the page 10, the bottom of the area doctors and the people around you will pronounce you dead. When the outer breath ceases, but they are still the inner elements and the inner breath. Once the inner breath ceases, the inner stage of dissolution begins. And the essence of the father and the mother that abide in the physical body move. The father essence abides in a white drop at the forehead, and the mother essence abides at the navel as a red drop. When the inner element dissolves, the mother drop ascends, while the father drop descends, and they join at the heart. That means then your inner or breath is gone, inner death. So outer is like dissolving 5 elements. Inner is like then last is like say father, so white right, mother's red is comes joined to heart. It's then collapsed. It's always your consciousness then leave the body. It's page 10, the bottom of the page 10. See, father essence abides in the white drop, at the forehead. Mother is in the navel. So then comes like touch to his heart. This then become dissolution, is death. Yeah, then the most subtle consciousness leaves the body when the father and the mother drop meet at the heart. There is page 11. There is in experience like finitting away. In experience, practitioners can maintain awareness during that process. Someone familiar with this process will be aware of that is going on and able to maintain awareness when in 2 moments, 2 split seconds, the consciousness dissolves into space, and then space dissolves into clear-like luminosity. The moment space dissolves into clear-like luminosity is also the moment when the inner breath ceases and the bardo of reality. So now is bardo of reality comes. Bardo of reality is a very short moment time, not too long. So bardo of reality is like, see, we father drop, mother drop, heat, right? Consciousness leave the body and lost. So then when you wake up again, same is like you wake up, like morning, yeah? So usually people wake up, you go to self, I. You're thinking about I, today what I'm going to do, like kind of wake up nervous, or I. Practitioners not like that way, they wake up reality. You can see your natural mind. So that's called here is the reality. Chinyik Pardo is Tibetan called Chinyik Pardo. And here is the essence of Pardo of reality, called Pardo of reality. Reality means absolute truth. It comes your truth nature. Yes? Yes?
So look at page 42. Picture on page 43. You see the picture here on the top, and you see the picture of the center channel. So what we're talking about, is that the center channel is this blue channel. So the top, towards the top is the forehead, with the white drop. Towards the bottom is the red drop. then it comes together at the heart. And that's where the lotus is, in the center of the lotus. And then in the lotus is the visible, that's the drop. And then when we do the practice, when we're going hit, 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 we're practicing taking that drop and making it go through the top of our head to Buddha Amitabha, who is the Bardo of reality.
Oh, no, not like that. This central channel is, we visualize the central channel. Yeah, but this, Phowa, we practice the central channel like that, right? But usually we don't have a central channel like that way. That time is like just, like not talking about Phowa. This is, we all is visualizing, And also the drop is like father head and mother head. This is a consciousness. This is a consciousness. This is we visualize it that this is representative of our natural mind. Consciousness, actually consciousness. But drop is not the consciousness. And father white drop and mother drop, that is the just, like essence of this, some, element. The heat here, but not the related to in this center channel, this one. So this is only the practice of Phowa. And you hear that, and consciousness is gone. So that is like, no, we're talking about the center channel and this Bengdu, this, we practice in Phowa. So we have to visualize it like this. This is talking about just generally what happened, other beings, like everyone. The whole to dissolving, we have like outer 5 elements, inner elements. Outer is like 5 elements, is dissolved to like outer these bodies. We have a heat, is dissolved to heat, right? And blood is dissolved to the water. So other is dissolved to the, like the earth and the 5 elements, outers. Inner is like this, dissolving, heat, and then you lost consciousness. So now this part of reality is, this is like you lose consciousness, and everyone happening this, everyone, all the beings has this. Even you practice Phowa, you practice Phowa, doesn't matter. And wake up, like same is like, morning wake up, right? This reality, like, when you wake up, this all changing pardon means reality arise. Reality means like no any deluded. It comes like your natural mind. But that time, most people don't recognize that. Only Mahamudra practitioners recognize that this is the reality. This is the Mahamudra. So they stay in there. They don't have to visualize anything. They stay in the natural mind. Then you have become you are going into the like Dharmakaya liberation, called Dharmakaya liberation. Make sense? Okay, so this is like you don't have to any visualize, like when this natural pardo comes, natural pardo called reality pardo. You recognize your nature. But that is a very, very short moment time. No, if you who practice and meditate in this lifetime, that person can recognize this inner nature. Who don't meditate Mahamudra, they not recognize this nature. Make sense? So then that's called the child clarity, mother clarity. They talk about the mother and the child. What is you wanted to say? Yes. Yes. When you wake up, yeah, you wake up is like very important state too. So this or the like wake up is, you know, like related to the wake up, you know, this area. So when you wake up, actually comes nature there, but most of no one recognize. Or like we have a strong grasping and always I come first. I, yeah, ego, yeah, ego or yourself, you know, self is arise. But then some practitioners, like practitioner means like who meditate generation stage. Do you know what means generation stage? Generation stage is like you visualize Buddha Amitabha. When you wake up, Buddha Amitabha is come to your mind, not come to I. Okay, so that's also called generation stage practitioners. This is a talk about Mahamudra practitioners, absolute truth, like completion stage meditators. They meditate always like, you know, nature mind. So then that's wake up. First is this one arise. You realize this. Okay, so you realize morning, then you can stay in that nature. If you can do when you wake up morning like that, then you can recognize this too. That's just like when you go sleep, when, you know, like sometimes we visualize, you know, Yadam deities like come, think about Buddha Amitabha, and then you first sleep and you wake up, comes Buddha Amitabha. So some people, you know, really meditate, Mahamudra practitioners, when you go first sleep, there's no any cultivated meditation, but they stay in the nature. You know, mind is not deluded, anything. Just look to your nature. Then you wake up, the nature is arise. So that people is called liberated in the Pardo. You don't need to pour anything. You become is Buddha in this place. Even you are not become Buddha in lifetime, you are Buddha in this state. This is reality Pardo, yeah. So this reality Pardo is called, is who can liberate here is called Dharmakaya. Actually Dharmakaya Phowa. Phowa means like just transform, you know. Not only we doing today here, Phowa meaning is. Make sense or no? So this all is like same when we go sleep, it's the same with death. It's all the five elements dissolving, you know. And when you wake up, it's the same as the birth. So that's the reason, you know, in consciousness you lost in the when from in the Pardo, right? Death after die. Your body is same as the guest house. Consciousness is same as the guest. Guest is lived from your guest house. So then guest didn't have any house, then guest is like no homes, like lost consciousness, same like that, you know. So then he wake up again, right? That wake up is called the reality Pardo. Okay, so reality Pardos begin for someone who has had a great deal of experience in meditating on the inner nature. It is possible to use that meditation experience at that moment. See, if you have meditated, you can recognize this, you can meditate in there, you can liberate it, you can become Buddha there. If you don't meditate in lifetime, living Pardo, right? No, we are in living Pardo, you don't meditate, you don't recognize this. You don't know anything here, what's happening. You lose this chance. This is happening for everyone, but people don't recognize. Make sense or no? Okay, so then when space is dissolving into clear light luminosity, those who are very advanced practitioners and great meditators experience it is like a pristine open sky that is completely pure and vivid and very brain-like, luminosity and bright. So kind of like natural state arise. Those who have received instructions to the nature of mind and then grown accustomed through meditation to recognizing that nature of mind will be able to instantly recognize the dawning of the color-like luminosity in the part of reality. And they will be able to attain liberation through that recognition. The meditative absorption on the color-like luminosity of the mind during one's lifetime is called the child-like color-like luminosity. So they have a child-like luminosity, mother-like luminosity. It's called two difference. Child-like luminosity is our living part. Though you meditate, you recognize your nature. So that is called child-like luminosity. Mother-like luminosity means in the pardo, this you recognize. So child recognize mother, right? Same like that. That's why this is just example. Child recognize mother, becomes same. Your experience, like your meditation, that arise in the pardo. So you recognize, oh, this is my practicing, Make sense or no? Okay. So then the color-like luminosity that shines forth in the pardo of reality is the nature, in the nature of the mind, the grown color-like luminosity, the Tathagata Garbha or Buddha nature. At that time, the meditative absorption of child color-like luminosity developed during a practitioner's lifetime can recognize the grown color-like luminosity, and this recognition and imaging merging is referred to as the meeting of mother and the child. Make sense or no? It's very clear, right? So, see, if you don't meditate, you don't have a child. No child, then even mother is there, but no child. Child cannot recognize mother, right? We create a child, luminosity means like we have to meditate that. Then in the pardo, you can recognize your really nature. This is an example, like those who don't have a sufficient experience with meditative absorption on the nature of a mind won't recognize the dawning of the color-like luminosity and will therefore continue into the experience of the pardo of reality, the follow. But those who are able to recognize it will be liberated through this meeting of the mother and the child color-like luminosities. Those meditators often manifest outer signs at the time of death. The meditation of very experienced practitioners is able to do throughout the practice of death is called Tugdam. So we can stop here, Tugdam, then we can talk afternoon what means Tugdam. Okay? So what time we come back again? Quarter to? What means quarter to? 1:45? Sure. Okay, we come back 1:45 then. It's food is here, I think so. So we can eat here and come back. Then this teaching, and we have to practice Phowa again, and then we have to practice Amitabha. Today Amitabha practice. The first Phowa, finish Phowa, then we practice Amitabha. Thank you.